Apex predators are the rulers of the food chain, feared and respected by other animals. These creatures have unique mating behaviors that are critical to the survival of their species. These predators have developed diverse reproductive strategies, from fierce competition to elaborate courtship dances, which ensure the strongest genes are passed down to the next generation. So let's dive into the wide world of apex predator mating behaviors. Without further ado, let's get started. Cheetah mating. Cheetahs are not only fast in speed, but also in sex, as their coupling period lasts only 20 to 30 seconds. The world's fastest land animal sure is fast. These big cats become sexually mature between 18 to 23 months of age. Male cheetahs will follow around females in heat for days, engaging in all sorts of charming behaviors like scent marking and yowling until the female is ready to mate. And when the moment finally arrives, it's over in a flash. Blink and you'll miss it. During this time, the male will engage in behaviors such as scent marking and vocalizations to attract the female's attention and signal his intent to mate. Interestingly, cheetahs have a unique reproductive system that allows females to conceive even if they only mate once during their estrus cycle. This is due to the release of multiple eggs during ovulation, which increases the likelihood of fertilization and pregnancy. Lion mating. It's not uncommon for lions to engage in multiple rounds of mating in a day, but a lion couple in the Kingdom of Rwanda has taken it to the next level. The newly coupled lion and lioness have been seen mating over 100 times a day for the past 4 days, which is a staggering display of animal passion. Once the female is ready to mate, the process can be quick and intense. The male lion will assert his dominance through biting and scratching, and the female will submit to his advances. It's a raw and primal display of animal behavior that has captivated observers for centuries. But what's even more interesting is that lion mating can involve multiple males. In some cases, a female lion will mate with multiple males to ensure the survival of her offspring. This behavior, known as polyandry, is relatively rare in the animal kingdom, but is common among lions. Leopard mating. Did you know that leopards can mate up to 100 times a day? That's right, these big cats have quite the appetite when it comes to reproduction. During mating season, which typically occurs in the rainy season, male leopards will roam their territory in search of receptive females. Once a male has found a female, he will follow her closely, sometimes for several days, until she is ready to mate. The mating process itself is brief, lasting only a few seconds, but it can occur repeatedly over a period of several days. Interestingly, female leopards have the ability to control their own fertility. They can hold on to a male's sperm for an extended period of time before fertilization occurs. This helps to ensure that the female will conceive during optimal conditions, such as during a period of abundant prey. After mating, the male and female go their separate ways. Crocodile mating. Crocodiles have unique and fascinating mating behavior. Mating usually occurs in the water during the dry season, when the water levels are lower and more concentrated. The male crocodile will approach the female and start to rub his head and snout against her body. He will then try to get on top of her and hold her down, sometimes resulting in a violent struggle. Once a female is attracted, the male will mount her from behind and engage in copulation, which can last anywhere from a few minutes to over an hour. After mating, the female will lay her eggs in a nest that she has built on land, which she will fiercely defend from potential predators. Interestingly, the sex of crocodile hatchlings is determined by the temperature of the nest during incubation. If the temperature is high, more males will hatch, while a lower temperature will produce more females. Black mamba mating. Mating in black mambas is a competitive and intense process. During the spring and summer months, males will search for females to mate with. However, as black mambas are solitary animals, finding a mate can be a challenge. When a male does find a female, he will engage in combat with other males to compete for mating rights. These fights can be violent and even deadly, with the snakes using their powerful bodies and venomous bites to gain the upper hand. Once a male has successfully defeated his rivals, he will mate with the female. The mating process itself is brief, lasting only a few seconds. After mating, the male will leave and have no further involvement in raising the offspring. Female black mambas will lay a clutch of up to 17 eggs in a protected location and then leave them to hatch on their own. Tiger mating. Tiger mating is an intense and often violent affair. The male tiger initiates the mating process by rubbing his head and body against the female's flanks. If the female is receptive, she will allow the male to mount her. Copulation may last up to several minutes, during which the male tiger holds onto the female's neck with his teeth. Tigers are not social animals, and males and females typically only come together for mating. In the wild, mating season for tigers usually occurs between November and April. Interestingly, female tigers are capable of induced ovulation, meaning that they will not ovulate until they have mated. This ensures that the female's eggs are only fertilized by the strongest and most dominant males. Male tigers have been known to kill cubs that are not their own in order to bring the female back into estrus and increase their own chances of mating. Mountain lions mating. Mountain lions, also known as pumas, are solitary animals that only come together during mating season. Mating typically occurs from December to March, with the peak period being in January and February. During this time, the males will travel long distances in search of receptive females. Male mountain lions use urine and scratch marks to mark their territory and leave their scent behind. This helps to establish their dominance and signal to females that they are ready to mate. However, it is ultimately up to the female to choose her mate, and she will typically select the strongest and most dominant male available. They do not form long-term pair bonds. Males will mate with multiple females. Females do the same. After mating, the male and female will go their separate ways. There is no parental care provided by males, and the female is solely responsible for raising and protecting her cubs. Golden eagle mating. The golden eagle is a majestic bird of prey known for its impressive aerial displays during the mating season. Males will perform a sky dance, soaring high into the sky and then dropping down in a series of swoops and dives. This dance is not only a display of strength and agility, but also a way to attract a mate. Once a female is interested, the male will bring her gifts of food and twigs to build a nest. They may also engage in sky dancing, where the pair will lock talons and free-fall together before releasing and flying off in opposite directions. This behavior is thought to strengthen their bond and reinforce their pair bonding. Once the pair has formed a bond, they will begin building a nest together, typically on a high cliff ledge or in a tall tree. Once the eggs hatch, the male will continue to provide food for the female and their offspring. Bears mating. Brown bear mating is a complex process that occurs in the late spring or early summer, when the bears emerge from their winter hibernation and begin to establish dominance hierarchies and mating territories. One of the most striking aspects of brown bear mating is the competition among males for access to the females. Dominant males will often fight with each other for the right to mate with females in their territory, and the winner will typically have exclusive mating access to those females. Mating can last for several minutes or even hours and can involve multiple copulations over the course of several days. After mating, the female will typically become pregnant and give birth to her cubs in the winter den. Brown bears have a relatively low reproductive rate, with females typically only producing 1 or 2 cubs per litter every other year. Lynx mating. Lynx are known for the unique mating behaviors, which often involve loud vocalizations. During the mating season, which typically occurs between February and March, male lynx will roam their territories and call out to females with a series of screams and yowls. The females will respond with their own vocalizations, and the males will track them down using their keen sense of smell. Once a male has found a female, he will pursue her relentlessly, often chasing her through the forest for hours at a time. They will mate multiple times over a period of several days. Lynx do not form long-term pair bonds, and after mating, the male will typically leave the female to raise the offspring alone. Interestingly, lynx have a unique mating call. This call can be heard from a distance and is used to attract a mate or to signal the presence of a territorial boundary. Polar bears mating. Polar bear mating is a complex process that involves tracking, sizing up, and testing potential partners. In the vast empty landscape of the Arctic, finding a mate can be a challenge, but polar bears have an excellent sense of smell that can detect another bear from over the horizon. Males can spend weeks tracking the scent of a female who is ready to mate. Once a male and female find each other, they engage in a courtship ritual that includes playing and testing each other's fitness. The female will test the male's ability to keep up with her and his fitness level, as she will be relying on him to provide strong and healthy genes for her offspring. If the male passes the female's tests, they will mate and produce offspring. The female will raise her cubs alone, devoting herself to them for 2 to 3 years. Hammerhead sharks mating. Hammerhead sharks are known for their unique mating behavior. Like many other species of sharks, they reproduce using internal fertilization. Hammerhead sharks have a complex courtship ritual that involves both the male and female swimming in circles around each other, while the male tries to bite the female's pectoral fins to assert dominance. If the male is successful in his courtship display, he will then position himself beside the female and use his claspers to transfer sperm. Female hammerhead sharks have a reproductive cycle that lasts between 1 and 2 years, and they are capable of storing sperm from multiple males for extended periods of time. This allows them to mate with multiple partners and potentially increase their chances of producing offspring with strong genetic diversity. When the baby hammerhead sharks, also known as pups, are ready to be born, the female will give birth to them in shallow, protected areas, such as swamps. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content. Let us know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.